Hey y'all, what's going on? It's your boy Mike here with another video. I'm actually sitting here cutting up some sweet potatoes for lunch. Um, Bam, as you see. But I just wanted to drop a little video and talk to you guys about how I passed the PTA boards on my first try. Um, I got my notes. Well, not my notes here. I actually still have my old notebook about like pretty much everything I did. As you see, it even has like pelvic tilting and everything like that. But this is the notebook that I wrote down like my study plan for, if you will. Um, yeah, let me rinse my hand real quick. My bad. You gotta have clean hands while you're cooking, right? All right, cool. So pretty much what I did, again, my notes right here. So you see me looking down a little bit. That's why. So pretty much what happened is, let me rinse this bowl out too. Is that, again, y'all know I don't script anything. I just go straight off the cuff. Just had to rinse my bowl out. I had some other sweet potatoes in here. Got them cubed. I'm gonna try to do this probably like more like French fry style. So it gets like a version of like burger and fries. I actually have like I did one of the last videos. I had all my turkey like burger style pretty much and just frozen. I have one thawing out. So I got my burger right here. I have my fries right here. Now I have my chicken, my asparagus, and my green beans also. So, but this is kind of like just like a little side thing. But I digress. Back to the story. So, pretty much what happened is the group that I told you guys about a while ago, that was like, hey, I wouldn't be here without those ladies. Same group. They helped your boy out big time. And what we did is, it was actually right when we were ending school, because we had to have things scheduled out very far in advance. I forgot exactly when we actually had to have things scheduled by. So I'm gonna check to see if I have it written down. So it says, yeah, so it says June 4th, pay for all exams. I actually did it on May 8th. And it says FDOH, Florida Department of Health application. So I had to get that done super early. But pretty much what we had to do is, we wrote down everything. We're like, okay, whose house can we go to? What times are we available? How long are we studying? Are we doing any quizzes? Things like that. And pretty much what we did is, and like I said, I would not be here without these ladies. So my study group, I appreciate you ladies, because again, I wouldn't be here without y'all. So what I did is, again, I have everything written down. Still, this book, I had this 6 years later. So I wrote, literally, the first thing says, meeting, 3 days a week. Monday, we met at one person's house. Wednesday, we met at another person's house. Thursday, we met at another person's house. 4 hours, 8 to 12. We have a book that we had to use. I'm not sure if I can say it, but it's Old Sullivan. It's a big book we had. I actually still got a book. I actually still have some of my textbooks like sitting there on my diploma right now, because again, my diploma was bent in the mail. So I got some big books on my diploma, just trying to flatten it out a little bit. So we had that, and then I said literally the next line I had, it says due May 8th. I had 25 questions originally. I had 25 written, crossed it out, says 50 questions, non-system, so like equipment and safety, stuff like that. And then like review non-system on another day. And then the 9th, I just have like pretty much doing the same thing, but we had everything broken down by system. So we had like the general stuff was like, like this piece of equipment, that piece of equipment, your goniometers, all these different things. We had those things listed out. But then the next couple of lines, it says June 3rd, start cardio. June 10th, start neuro. June 17th, start MS, musculoskeletal. I wrote that all kinds of backwards. I don't know how to get from June to May. Good Lord. I think I probably was writing things. I just got kind of filling things in. But before then, it says May 13th, start lymph and skin. And I actually had the pages written down for that. And then May 20th, it said start metabolic and endocrine system. And then on Thursdays, we just had just lunch. And then on May 27th, I said start GI/GU. And then we had the dates where we had to have everything paid for. It's like, hey, make sure you have things paid for because they're due dates, and you can only take the test a certain amount of times per year. Right? That's open, so it's not just like, oh, I can just jump in anytime. That ain't how it works. You have very specific times where you can take the state boards. Trying to determine how thick I want to cut these potatoes. Let's see. How does this look? It look good to y'all? Yeah, not too bad. In the bowl it goes. So we had everything written down. Also, next to that, I have quizzes and half reading due on the Monday. So the Monday before we met, we had to do a quiz. Every Monday we had a quiz, and then we had to do half of our reading due that Monday too. So we literally gave ourselves homework. We had to do quizzes, a certain amount of times. We had to do a certain amount of reading each time. And mind you, we had 2 tests to do. This is for our state boards. This isn't even talking about the law test. Yeah, PTAs, we had a law test to do. I'm gonna cut this in half. Bam. That's better. All right, cool. So yeah, we had a law test to do. And this is just talking about, I may even mention the law test in this video, or I may make a different video for the law test. But we had, certain readings we had to do every day. We had a certain amount of quizzes we had to do. And we also had the thing that we were using to study. We had like a big exam that you can actually choose the amount of questions that you did. So that's another aspect of that we did, which was actually very, very helpful. I'm not sure if it's the same now, because this was back in 2019 that I finished PTA school. So things may be slightly different, but probably not too much different. So again, check with your program directors and your teachers and see if things are the same or if things are different, like how the systems work and everything like that. But we had quizzes. So yeah, that's where this came in. So we had a 50 so we did like 50 quiz question like once a week. We were knocking these quizzes out. We were putting some work in, my boy, and my ladies. We're putting some questions. We're putting some work in. So we did the quiz questions, and then I forgot how often we did a big test. But when I say the big test, they're like 250 question long tests. They're long. And again, we did that because these state boards are not cheap. Again, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not made out of money. Never have been. So I'm like, hey, I gotta make sure that when I put my dollars, I'm getting my dollars worth. So we had to. I forgot how often we did the big quizzes, but we did those. We reviewed them. It was very systematic, and this may apply for other state boards and things like that. This really helped me out, just having a systematic way of doing it. Now, people may have different ways of studying. I'm not knocking anyone else's way of studying. This is what worked for me. This is what really helped me pass on the first time. Is just having a very systematic way of doing it, and plan your something and something your plan. Like, plan your work and work your plan. That's what it is. And we planned our work. We worked our plan. We all passed. I think we all passed on the first time, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think anybody in our class actually didn't pass the first time. Our class we were pretty solid. Actually, my class president, she actually got a perfect score on the boards. I have no clue how. I'm like, I wish I was that smart, because boy, yeah. Man, I wish. I was just happy to pass it. But yeah, my class president, she actually got a perfect score on the boards. I don't know how she did it. I'm like, hey, that's dope. But going back to this, so we had a very systematic way of studying, of scheduling, of everything that we did was very, very systematic. You know, we met a couple times a week. We're like, okay, we're going to this person's house this time, this person's house this time, this person's house this time. We even timed our breaks. Like, hey, we're taking a break for this long. No, we can talk about whatever. But once it's time to get back on, we're back on. We're putting this work in because we ain't made our money. We have to, get this stuff done. First time we can. That's the goal. First time. So it's like, again, I always have multiple goals. First goal was to pass it. Second goal, pass it the first time because things are expensive. Again, your boy is not made out of money. So we are very systematic with it. That there is anything, because we were doing quizzes like once a week or so. We did like a big quiz like once a month. I forgot how often we did the big quizzes. I don't think I have it written down, but we actually had to do stuff while we're still in PTA school, just make sure that we had things done on time. Because again, things are very time sensitive. If I'm not mistaken, I think you can take the boards, was it twice a year? I think it was twice a year you had the opportunity to take the boards. But generally speaking, most people will try to take it, I think it was in August. August is when we took it. Most people try to take it, August, the sooner you take it, the sooner you can get a job, the sooner you can start working. Now, they do have like a temporary license that people can work under. It's probably state dependent, but you have to talk with your different employers. Like, hey, this is what's going on. I'm in the midst of this, that. Not every employer will accept that, to my knowledge. But you have to talk to the different employers, see what the requirements are. There's also a certain time length they can work with a temporary license. So I'll definitely talk to your employers about that. See if you can get that done. If you're kind of concerned about things. But we met often. It really helped. Really helped with everything, to be honest. Again, plan your work your plan, have a solid group of people to study with, and enjoy the people that you're studying with, because depending on when you get your study group depends on how long that you're going to be with these people. Maybe with these people for a short time, maybe people with a super long time. Like I said, I was technically with this group of ladies for technically 3 semesters, because I was with them with like half my 4th semester, my 5th semester, and then whenever we're studying for boards, we're studying together. So I'll say 2.5, 3 semesters I was studying specifically with this group of ladies. So that's really important, is to have a group of people that you can actually study with. Again, I was a lone studier. I studied by myself previously, because I'm like, I don't want to bother people. I took a little bit longer. I just didn't want to bother people with me slowing them down. That's pretty much how I felt. As you can see, there's a lot of insecurities with your boy. I was like, I just didn't want to bother people. If I took too long to understand a concept or whatever, I'd rather suffer by myself than potentially ask for help and slow other people down. That's how it's always been. But I am glad that I asked for help, that I reached out for help. Because again, who knows where I would be if I didn't have these ladies in my life, back then. But in regards to the systems, how you want to divide up the systems is up to you. I would say whatever your struggle system is, do the meat of that first. So if you want to, for instance, I always put things as body parts, because again, when you're working out, it's like, I'm a gym rat. You guys know that. I'm actually in my workout clothes already. I pretty much wear my workout clothes to work, and then I will just kind of, if I need to be on camera, then it's like, okay, yeah, I'm like, whatever. But I'm usually not on camera that often, so I pretty much wear my workout clothes to work. Again, work from home, so I'm sitting at my desk pretty much most of the day. So it's a chill vibe. Works for me. And again, it's one less barrier between me and the gym. So I pretty much change my clothes, then go to the gym. I wear my gym clothes when I'm working pretty much. So yeah, so whatever your most difficult system is, put the most emphasis on that. If there's a way that you can do that is you have. So again, I'll go back to the gym aspect. My core. My core is not shredded or anything like that. I ain't afraid to admit it. I ain't got a six pack. I've never had a six pack. One day. But again, but one of the things that my coach has is that he'll have like abs that kind of like spread out different ways. He'll have like, today is actually back and buys. No, I'm doing 4 exercises for back, 2 exercises for biceps. But on Friday, it's arms and abs. So I'm still doing multiple things. But if you know anatomy, you know that whenever you're working your back, you're technically working your biceps also. So it's multiple things. On Monday, I'll say Monday, but the first day that you're actually working out, for me, it's more of like a push day. So it is it's 3. I have to double check. I'm just trying to go off from memory right now. It's 3 exercises for chest, one or 2 exercises for triceps. I have to double check my notes. Like I said, I'm not right now. I'll double check it. I'm going to the gym, and then I have an ab exercise, and then there's something else that I have on Monday. I forgot what it is. Is it? Because again, my routine just got changed not too long ago. But again, so you have your main thing, but you also have your other worry spots you can kind of like spread in. But you also have the day that you're kind of focusing on the worry spot also. So the more volume you have, the more quote unquote reps that you're putting in, the more that trouble aspect becomes not as much of a trouble aspect. Does that make sense? So the more volume you can put in, the more reps and sets you can put in for whatever that trouble thing is. Same thing. And this can go with, wait, I don't like that. I saw something on my potato that looked kind of weird. I just threw it in the bowl. Found it. Okay. So that goes with anything pretty much. Anything that you're trying to improve on. The more reps, the more sets you can put in, the better you get at that thing. The more that thing becomes familiar, the less trouble it is for you a little bit later on. So that's one of the things that you can also do is, so let's say if your trouble area is neuro. Because okay, I'm going to have a neuro day, but then I may have, let's say if I'm studying for 2.5 hours. Okay, cool. I'm studying for 2.5 hours on a different system, but then 15 minutes in that 2.5 hours, I may, throw in a neural question or a couple of neural questions just to get that volume in. That's another thing that you can do. And this can go for pretty much anything that you're working on, that you're trying to improve the information gain, if you will. I'm saying this for the PTA boards because that is what this video is pretty much about. Is about how I pass the PTA boards on the first attempt. It's volume, it's repetition, it's having a good study group behind you. It's insane. If you've never studied with a study group, try it out, see if it works for you. Another thing, note cards, Quizlet. I'm not sure if Quizlet's still a thing. If it is, try Quizlet. Not sponsored. Wish I was. Try Quizlet. I think they had a free version and a paid version, but sometimes you can put the answer and the question in there, and I'm not sure if you can have it flip back and forth between one time it shows you the answer, one time it shows you the question. I'm not sure if that's still a thing or if that is a thing, if that was a thing, but try out Quizlet. See if that makes sense for you. If you don't like Quizlet or you just prefer regular note cards, do regular note cards. To be honest, whenever I was doing the my law test. Oh, quick update. So these are my potatoes I got so far. See, your boy put in some work. So when I was doing the law test, one of the things that we had to do is again, because there's three main sections of the law test. I don't remember all of them. All I remember is that there was a very particular question. I'm just like, this is weird. I thought people were joking about this question, but it's a very weird question. If you're taking the law test in Florida, you'll probably, if you took your tests in 2019, you'll know the question. It's just like, okay, sure, but you'll know the question. So, but there is no. I went on Google and I typed in PTA law exam blah 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 blah, and there is a Quizlet I found. I'm like, hey, I'm using this Quizlet. That Quizlet helped me. Try that for your boards also. It's like, whether it's the system, it's like, what's the largest organ system? The skin. Well, or I think it's the skin is the largest external organ system. Or it's like, okay, let's say it's like, okay, what muscles do this? The sits muscles, which are some of your rotator cuff muscles. Like which teres muscle is correlated to the lats, or is this middle trap? Is this rhomboid? What does this? If you're trying to activate this muscle, this is what I'm going to tell you guys straight up, because I see the exercise all the time. It's like, y'all are doing it wrong. I get what you're saying, but you're doing the exercise wrong. Is in order to isolate the rear delts, how should you perform external rotation? So should you perform it like this? Should you perform it like this? Should you do it laying down? Whatever. You can put that on a note card also. The reason why I brought that one up specifically is because, yes, your rear delts do external rotation. However, if I'm doing dumbbell curls, I'm doing dumbbell curl like this. If I have this here, I'm doing a bicep extension. Hey, look at that, look at bicep. But if I'm doing this, I'm just doing a static hold on my bicep. So what's the difference between a static hold this and doing this? I'm still working my bicep. Now, if there's a cable coming from this way, you're going that way, then you're working your rotator cuff. So that can be a trick question. So you have to figure out where gravity's coming from, where the weight is actually coming from, because doing the motion and doing the exercise are two different things. Does that make sense? Y'all see what I'm coming at? So that's another thing you can put in your note cards. If there's anything that you're like, okay, how can I fix this? Or let's say, okay, what signs and symptoms should you look for quad equina syndrome? What is quad equina? Pay attention to that one, y'all. Like, what should I look for quad equina syndrome? Or like TMJ. Which muscles are involved in TMJ? It's literally in the name. So questions like that can kind of get you tripped up a little bit. So you can put things like that in note cards. Which hemisphere of the brain does this? Which hemisphere of the brain does this? What kind of aphasia is this? Is this Wernicke's aphasia? Is this global aphasia? What is this? What does dyspnea mean? All these different things you can put on note cards. How should you wrap a leg if a person is coming to you for lymphatic wrapping? You can put those things in a note card. Put little bullet points down. Put the things in a note card. That'll be a great way of getting some extra studying in. Use your things. And also, we got ChatGPT now, bro. We got all these different things. Like it hasn't been a lot of time since 2019, but think about how many more things that the new students have, that y'all students have, compared to whenever I was a PTA student, bro. Like, you can have ChatGPT, like, hey, make a note card that I would expect on the PTA exams in regards to this organ function or this organ system. Bro, y'all got cheat codes now. Y'all got some crazy cheat codes, bro. There's all different channels that you can watch that helps you out. Again, there's some different channels that I had. coming up in PTA school, but not as much as you guys have now. The information is insane, and it's not even that long ago. 6 years. I graduated from PTA school 6 years ago, and the amount of information that you guys have available to you now compared to then, it's insane. So use all those resources that you have. Talk to your teachers. Actually, I went to go visit one of my professors. About a month ago. Drop off his gift, and one of the things that we had office hours whenever we were studying. So it's like every Friday from a certain time to a certain time, we had office hours that we can just stay in, ask run through the lab, ask the teachers questions, ask the TAs questions, things like that. And then whenever I was in there, my teacher, Dr. Miller, he was like, he had, we're just sitting there chit chatting, but then some of the students came in like, hey, do you mind, throwing up some board questions for us? Like, yeah, I throw up some board questions for you. You threw up 4 board questions, and they're just kind of going through different things. And it's like, use your teachers. They want you to pass. They want you to succeed. So use your teachers. I'm trying to think. Another thing that I can say is every now and then, just run through your note cards. It's going to help. And sometimes you just got to go scorched earth, as they say. They usually use this term with like financial planning, like Dave Ramsey made it super popular. Like, go scorched earth, beans and rice, rice and beans, so on and so forth. However, what I mean scorched earth in this scenario is you gotta zone in. You gotta go tunnel vision. You gotta go blinders on, world off. I'm just studying, because again, I don't know about y'all, but your boy ain't a genius. I'm just too stubborn to stop. That's all it is. That's the only difference between me and other people. Now, do I have a lot of failures in life? Oh yeah, you boy had a lot of failures in life. I ain't even gonna front. But I was just too stubborn to stop. I had particular goals, and did I reach all my goals the way I wanted to? No. I'm not afraid to admit that at all. I've had a lot of different, mental, emotional struggles in regards to trying to reach different goals that I thought I was going to reach, but I didn't reach. I said, I am not going to lie to you guys. I've had, last week, I had another, I was like, I had some imposter syndrome going on, and then thankful to one of my gym bros, the future Dr. Abdullah. I see you, my dude. He had to, verbally slap me in the back of the head and say, hey, you okay, you okay. So I definitely appreciate that, because it really, really helped me. So that's why it's so important to have some good people in your corners, particularly when you're going through a program like the PTA program. But have fun, enjoy the group that you're studying with, ask them questions, cry in front of them, laugh in front of them, let them be your people, let them help you out. You're going to appreciate it. You're going to, even if you don't talk, you're going to remember these people, because for a very, very long time. Like I said, I haven't talked to most of these ladies, since graduation. One of them, the funny thing is that because we're always studying at the house, again, I haven't seen her in 6 years, but getting another family and everything like that. It was funny. I was at the gym, and then there was this girl next to me. I was just like, she looks familiar. She looks really, really familiar. And then I was like, hey, is your name so and so? And she's like, yeah. I was like, I knew it. You probably don't remember me, but I was in PTA school with your mom. And and then she's like, oh yeah, no, I told you about you. Da, 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 da. And she's like, yeah, I remember you. Very vaguely, because again, 6 years ago. So this kid was just graduated. She just graduated high school now. But whenever I met her, whenever I graduated, she was in middle school. And it's but because of the time that we spent together, studying and everything like that with her mom and everything like that, she still remembered me. And I was like, hey, if you need any, help, in the gym, blah, 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 feel free to ask me, so on and so forth, the whole thing. It was pretty dope. But you never know whenever you're going to see these people again, how you're going to meet up, how you're going to interact with these people, and the things that you can remember, because different people have a different way of explaining things to you. Again, I like visuals, as you see. I like making things relatable. Inflections. I like to make things relatable to people because not everyone is going to understand, a sports analogy. Not everyone's going to understand a car analogy. Not everyone is going to understand a gym analogy or a cooking analogy. So different people have different ways of communicating different pieces of knowledge. So that's another thing that you'll learn, like in your different study groups, is you learn different ways of communicating the same piece of information that will make sense to different people. Whether it's how you receive it, how the person explains a piece of information to you. Everyone understands information just a tad different. And nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that at all. At all. It's just the way it is. People have different learning skills and learning theories and things like that. And that is perfectly okay. And that's why it's so important to, while you're studying, to learn these things about yourself, learn these things about your coworkers, your peers / future coworkers. That way, whenever you're actually practicing, it makes things so much easier because you can relate to people. I may know nothing about what it's like to live in North Dakota. I've never been to North Dakota. All I know is that it's cold. However, I do know that if your car is cold, it's not going to run. So you gotta let your car warm up. I do know that if your heart's not working right, you're not just gonna go from 0 to 100. You gotta warm up your heart. So if I'm talking to a patient who lives in someplace cold, I'm like, hey, whenever it was cold and it was snowing, things like that, and that you get in your car and it's like, hey, I gotta go someplace, but your car is kind of stalling because it's too cold. You gotta kind of sit there and warm it up a little bit before you can actually go. The same thing is going on with your heart. You just had a major surgery, and your heart is not working the way it used to. You let your heart warm up before you can get up and go. He said, I'm not a mechanic, but I do know if you pop the hood of a car, right after you drive, that engine's gonna be hot. You're not gonna want to work on that engine as soon as you pop the hood, unless you don't like your hands anymore. You gotta let it cool off. So I tell my patients, like, hey, your heart rate, whenever you exercise, your heart rate goes up. We want it to go up so you can get the blood where it needs to go, from your feet to your head to your heart, all those different things. We want your heart rate to go up, because if your heart rate doesn't go up, then whenever you stand up, you're gonna pass out. Or it's called orthostatic hypotension. So pretty much a big long word that means whenever you're changing position, your blood pressure doesn't have enough time to balance out, so you fall down. So you have almost have a low blood pressure because of positional changes. Very vaguely, very generalized information in regards to that. So we know that your heart has to cool down. Now we know that while you're exercising, we want your heart rate to go up. However, we don't want your heart rate to stay up. Because if you're exercising, your heart rate is 120. Okay, cool. Because you're trying to get oxygen to your muscles, so on and so forth. But if you're just sitting there doing nothing, and your heart rate is 120, that's an issue. So what we can do is we can do exercises and slowly do the exercises slower and slower and slower to get your heart to relax a little bit. And that's why we do all these exercises before and after activity, particularly if you've had a heart surgery. I'm no mechanic. I've never worked in the cold. However, as my dad says, knowing a little bit about a lot and a whole lot of nothing, hey, it can get you far. And that's why you have to learn how to relate to people, how to communicate with people. And I've had people like, oh, you want a therapist tomorrow? Da, 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 da. I was like, unfortunately, no, but I'll make sure that you know that you have a great therapist. Da, 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 da. This is my first time working with people. And they're like, yeah, we want you back tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, sorry, I got too many jobs. But it's learning how to communicate with people. It's learning how to, just learning people. And again, these are different things that you can learn, while you're just talking to people, while you're studying with people, while you're just intermingling with people. Because again, people have different ways of teaching, of of just sharing knowledge. That people have different worldviews. You can use all these different things to relate to people if you want to. So that's another thing. You gotta want to learn how to communicate with people. Because not everybody wants to learn how to communicate with people, and that's okay. It's just gonna make therapy a lot harder, for you, for your patients, for everybody. But yeah, again, just wanted to chop it up with you guys a little bit. Talk about how I passed PTAs. How I passed my state boards on the first try. Again, to summarize, have a good group of people that you're studying with. They're gonna make things invaluable. Have a study plan, dates, times, study lengths, have all these different things. Another thing I'll say is, do quizzes and tests, because the state boards were 4 hours, if I'm not mistaken. So you have to practice your test taking endurance, because you can know all the information, but if you cannot handle the testing length, you're gonna struggle. So practice your test taking length endurance, whether it's just the sitting, whether it's just thinking for that prolonged amount of time. Practice your study length endurance. That's gonna be another valuable thing. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can think of. Talk to your teachers too. They'll have some different study tips that I don't think of. I'll have some different study tips that your teachers won't think of. Am I a teacher? Technically. But technically, aren't we all teachers? But I digress. I am not a teacher by trade. Well, technically, as a therapist you are. Technically speaking. But again, I'm just a dude who's gone through a lot of personal issues, who's just trying to help other people out. That's it. While I'm cutting my sweet potato. So that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Almost done with the sweet potato. So I'm gonna let you guys. Almost there. I got one more sweet potato. I'm pretty much cutting out sweet potato for the rest of the week, and probably for the weekend, because I have to work at the hospital this weekend. Funny enough, and I like to go ahead and get all my stuff cut up, and then I put it in my trusty air fryer. Now you can't see it from here, but I got air fryer. Throw my potatoes in the air fryer a little bit. Throw them in a bowl. That way I can dip out as much as I need to each time. It's a way of making meal prep a lot easier for you. And I thought I actually needed more sweet potatoes than I needed, so I got 3 giant sweet potatoes out. And I actually don't think I actually needed all 3 of them, but I already kind of cut some of the guck off of the third one, so I'll probably still cut that up and then put it in a bigger bowl, because it ain't gonna fit. It's not gonna fit in this one bowl. Fun things, but again, I still gotta eat some today for lunch, because like I said, I'm actually still prepping my lunch. Okay, cool. So I gotta have some for my lunch for today. Then obviously I got the rest of the week. One thing I want to do is I want to give some shout outs to people who've been following for a little bit. Again, this is also going back to surrounding yourself with good people and just people who can learn different things from. These are people that I've been following, people who've shown me love a little bit, and even if I don't understand all the concepts, I'm still here to support my people. So the completed look, if you guys are into, particularly my ladies, if you guys are into like purses, fashion, shoes, just different, high name brand purses, check out the completed look on here. I think she's on TikTok, Instagram, some other things, so check her out. And Dr. Shamanda, shout out to Dr. Shamanda. I see you, Doc. I'm proud of all the work you're putting in. She is a psychiatrist, I think, psychologist. I have to double check. Recently graduated with a PhD. Again, just watching stuff that she's been talking about, like personal life. She's also talking about some finance stuff. So even though I talk about finance stuff, she goes into a lot more detail with finance about like the FIRE movement and 401ks and like HSAs and all this other different stuff. So again, those are just 2 channels I've been following for a little bit. Again, do I know anything about purses? Not a whole lot, but I'm learning a little something, something. So just like watching the complete look, like watch her journey, with everything, watching her monetization journey has been awesome. She's rocking it. Watching Dr. Samantha, watching her monetization journey, she is rocking it. She is on it. So if you guys want some inspirational people to watch out, just want some variety in your life, I definitely say check them out. They're both killing it. They're both killing it. Again, if you just want a different viewpoint on different things than I have. Again, if you want a viewpoint on mental health, finances, different struggles, the different, like, why you should go ham in certain situations, why you need to pull get up, pull off the gas a little bit, kind of like calm your life down a little bit. Definitely check out Dr. Samantha. If you guys are like, again, just learn about different colorways and purses and purse stylings and all this different stuff, and just get some different fashion inspo, and even just like weekly vlogs and things like that. My bad, y'all. Check out the completed look. That's all I got for you guys. Again, got that much sweet potato, and I got this much left. So your boy got some cutting to do. But until next time, later.